The United States has issued its largest sanctions package against Russia since Moscow invaded Ukraine 2 years ago. The Biden administration on Friday imposed more than 600 sanctions targeting Russian companies, financial systems, and business leaders. The sanctions also go after 3 individuals the U.S. believes are connected to the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny, who died in a Russian prison last week. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe has more.
Make no mistake, Putin is responsible for Alexei's death.
The sweeping sanctions unveiled by President Biden include penalties on those specific individuals who ran the Arctic penal colony, where detained opposition leader Alexei Navalny died 1 week ago.
We in the United States are going to continue to ensure that Putin pays the price for his aggression abroad and repression at home.
In total, there are roughly 600 new sanctions on individuals and entities in Russia and 11 other countries, including China, Serbia, and the United Arab Emirates. They include Russia's top steel producer, making parts for military helicopters, a railroad company used by the Russian army, a major Moscow bank, and a Russian-Iranian supply network making lethal attack drones used in Ukraine.
These sanctions, these restrictions have had a significant impact on Russia, both in its ability to prosecute its aggression, but even more, we see that they're going to have a growing and long-term impact on Russia, its ability to modernize its industries.
But CBS News contributor Samantha Vinograd says sanctions so far haven't been effective, in part because Putin has maintained strong financial ties with countries that have kept the war machine functioning.
While U.S. sanctions are designed to have an impact over time, to trickle down in the Russian economy, what's happening now is more important. Ukraine is poised to run out of ammunition, and Russia has enough money to keep fueling its war machine, at least in the near term.
And Ed O'Keefe joins me now. So, Ed, how much pressure will these sanctions actually put on Russia?
That's unclear, Elaine, and the fact that there's now more than 4,000 of these sanctions on Russian individuals and entities might make you wonder, well, then what's the point if it hasn't stopped the military action? Biden administration officials say it is weakening the Russian economy, is weakening the Russian military because it's forcing them to have to make end runs around these restrictions, and ultimately they believe will contribute to a deterioration of the Russian economy over the next several years.
Meantime, President Biden is again calling on Congress to approve aid for Ukraine. Ed, what is the latest on that?
Still obviously hasn't been passed. We saw Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and other senators in Ukraine today telling Ukrainian officials they're working on it, and they're pushing House Speaker Mike Johnson to bring it up for a vote when the House reconvenes. The House and Senate are working first to avert a shutdown, and the hope is that in the midst of those negotiations in the coming weeks, there can be some kind of a bipartisan agreement to get a vote on the legislation in the House and get it to the president. Lawmakers in Ukraine today warned if it isn't done within the next year, it's very likely Ukraine could lose the war.
Dire situation. Ed O'Keefe at the White House. Ed, thank you.